I wanted to talk about it anyway. All right, so we are live. Welcome to Bacon Bits, and I'm here with the artist formerly known as War Pig. That never gets old. By the way, there is they just added a movie to Netflix. I saw on Instant Watcher called War Pig.
War Pigs, yeah. It's a World War II movie. I haven't seen it yet, but
I haven't watched it yet either. I'm sort of looking forward to checking it out, though. It didn't look that bad. Maybe a little B-rate or something. I'm not really sure because I never watched it.
it's got a dang it, now I forgot his name. The huge, massive Swedish blonde action movie star from the 80s.
Oh, I know here. It's not Dolph Lundgren, is it? It's the
yes, Dolph Lundgren is in it.
Is it Dolph Lundgren? Yeah, fresh off of his successful appearance in The Expendables.
I thought he did a great job in The Expendables.
I did too. I thought that was a great movie. I love the original. You saw the original, right? I mean, did you see all of them?
Oh, yeah. I've seen all three. Yeah, I own all three, actually. I bought them all on iTunes.
Hey, it's worth it. It's well worth it. Now, what do you do? Do you just watch them on your laptop, or are you streaming that right to your TV?
I have a desktop, and typically I'll play a movie on my desktop while I'm playing a game.
Oh, I see. So it's like background noise.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're always multitasking with that?
Pretty much. Yeah. It's very rare I find a movie that really holds my interest enough to actually just watch the whole thing.
Really?
Only typically happens in the theater because you kind of have to.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to, right? So, all right, tell me about now that we got you going here. Let's talk about that expansion pack. So you got the first Automatron, right? It's called
Automatron. Yeah,
Automatron. And you all right, so it's $9.99. It is out now, and you just finished it. So you said the quest line wasn't very long, but how did you feel overall about it?
Well, Automatron is meant for experienced characters in the sense that they beefed up the damage of these robots and they beefed up the armor of these robots. So you have to be putting out a lot of damage. I had a character who was level 76 when I started, and they were just taking me apart. I had to dip into my stim pack reserve more than I had for any other encounter ever. So yeah, just be prepared to watch your health and use your stim packs frequently, and don't be afraid to run away and heal. They had some great stuff that you can do. I mean, you can build new robots and just design them from the ground up, but you have to have, like everything else, if you want to if you want to improve your gun, you have to have the gunsmithing perk.
Right.
If you want to build the best robots, if you want to build the toughest robots, you have to have the robotics perks, which are an intelligence perk. So go into, if you haven't put points in intelligence, you're not going to be able to get those perks. And if you haven't gotten those perks, you're not going to be able to do the best stuff with the robots. You can still do quite a lot, actually, without any of those perks. But surprisingly, but you're definitely going to want to get the 3 robotics perks in order to take advantage of all the stuff they let you do.
So overall, worth $9.99, you think?
Well, I bought the season pass, so I didn't really have to worry. I'm kind of locked in, actually. It just doesn't matter.
Well, it sounds like it was worth it. I mean, there's plenty to do. Now, the crafting there, is that any better than it was in the original game, or is it still sort of convoluted?
Well,
in terms of building the robots.
I'm sure there are tons of components that you need to do the crafting, but my character was level 76, so I had already obviously had I went and I checked my character. I had like 3,350 caliber bullets, which are the rarest types of bullets in the entire game. I had 3,300 of them. And so obviously my character is really advanced, and I've put a lot of effort into them. And so I didn't have to worry about components and stuff because I have tons of junk just sitting around ready to scavenge for components. So I can't really speak to that.
You gotta love this house. Nobody moves for hours. It's like quiet as a church in here. The second I put my headphones in, it's a fucking parade in and out, in and out of the room I'm in.
I will say this:
yeah, go ahead.
Adds some cool new villains. It's not just the robots. They add a couple of cool new villains that are interesting. They add some new type of raiders, new locations, stuff like that. And you can find the one and only remaining bucket of green paint in all of Massachusetts you can find in this expansion pack.
Oh, that's so. And you found it, I take it.
Yes.
Because you've got to be pushing 300 hours in that game by now, right?
I am at 9 days and 22 hours, however much that is. So that's not 240. It's not quite 240. So it's 220 something.
Wow, that's impressive.
But yeah, if you've played it, you get a quest at one point to go get some green paint. And in order to get green paint, you have to chase down yellow paint and chase down blue paint and invade a specific place to find the one paint mixer left in the entire state of Massachusetts. But
that's pretty awesome.
But this one specific can of green paint that is the only can of green paint you'll ever find just lying around is in this expansion that you can find it.
That's pretty sweet. Nintoddlers have not had a good week in the comment section, he says, with all the NX leaks. Has anyone confirmed that those Nintendo leaks were actual leaks, or were they crap?
I have absolutely no idea.
I don't either. I mean, there were two separate Nintendo rumors this week. The first was that they were going to kill the Wii U very shortly, cease production of the Wii U, and then it was quickly followed up by the second rumor, which was a leak, supposedly a leak of a controller. I think it was a picture of a controller for their prototype, which I think is codenamed NX, but I doubt that's going to be the actual.
That controller is fake. That controller is absolutely not real. But Nintendo is designing at least a new console. I don't know that they're going to abandon the Wii U totally, because I mean, Nintendo is kind of one of those companies that as long as it's selling, they'll pretty much continue making it for a while.
And the guy in the comments says that's because they taxed all the rest of the green paint companies out of Massachusetts. And he has a valid point. That's probably exactly what happened. So right now, aside from the Nintendo stuff, because we have really, I guess we just don't have any way to confirm any of that. I don't have any inside sources on that, but the what I'm playing right now is the Division, and I'm not that far into it. I just hit level 10, so I'm probably I don't know 7-8 hours or so into it. But the it's in a way. Have you played it yet?
No, I haven't. I want to, but I haven't been able to. I didn't have enough money to buy it straight up this month. And, of course, with GameFly, it's the brand new game on the market. It's the new hotness, and everybody loves it. So it's unlike, pray for your sell your soul to the devil to get a copy of it availability.
Well, in a lot of ways, it's what I wanted out of Destiny when Destiny came out. It's social when I want it to be, and it's not when I don't want it to be. And in other words, I can go through these things alone, but I mean there are missions where you have to join in with somebody to really to survive, because they do get a little bit hard. But if you want to try and tackle them on your own, you can. In fact, I have gotten through at least one of them without jumping on board with someone else. But it is fun. It is definitely designed to sort of force some social interaction, which is it's okay, because I don't mind doing that in small doses. And the story, unlike Destiny, is pretty pretty comprehensible, and it's definitely interesting to follow along. There's plenty of side missions, and some of them do get a little bit repetitive. Like it's sort of like guard the guard the supplies, and then in comes a wave of enemies, and then comes another wave of enemies, and that kind of thing. And then there's a little bit, maybe too much of that, but for the most part, it is very fun. It's a pretty game. The only problem I've had with it are connectivity issues. I'm getting a little bit tired of being booted off the Division servers for, I don't know why. I have no idea why. It's not an internet connection thing. I've had that repaired, and there's nothing wrong with it. The Division is
or maybe their server's overloaded.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. I'll be playing along. I was playing earlier. I was going along good for an hour, nothing wrong, and then all of a sudden the NPCs freeze, and you're still walking around, and no one else is. And they're not frozen like they're not moving. They're just not responsive anymore. And as soon as it happens, I know what's about to happen, and then I get the message that the Division servers are not available right now. And I meant the Division. Yeah, did I not say the Division? Did I say something else? Yeah. So
Okay.
anyway, you get booted off, and it's happened to me several times, and it's very, very annoying. And for one half a day, I was unable to connect at all. And I tried a bunch of other games, and I was able to connect just fine. So whatever's going on with the Division, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe my NAT type isn't open. Or I thought it was. That I don't know. So anyway, that's the only problem I've had. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Does it have a legitimate, like, first-person or solo campaign?
There's definitely a campaign. You can approach it. And each campaign gives you pieces of the story. You play booting you out. Yeah, no way. He says, it's a legitimate campaign. You can play it on your own, and you can go through and choose whichever piece of the story that you want to play. In other words, it's broken down into missions, and each mission will give you some of the story. However, you're almost forced to take them in order because you can't really be level 5 and play a story mission that's meant for level 15, or you'll get creamed, so you gotta kind of play them in order. And if you wanted to play them alone, first person, you certainly could do that. There's definitely ways you can survive those things by yourself. I've done it. I mean, usually I join with someone else. The odd part about it is that no one on the game seems to use a headset, which is kind of weird because the point of the social interaction is to actually talk to somebody, and in some cases in this game, it makes it a little bit difficult if you can't communicate, because you might need a health pack, or you might spot an enemy that because the mini map gives you like a bright red circle, so you have a general area where you know the enemies are, but you don't know specifically where they are. So I might spot one that the other guy can't spot. Right now, most people have taken to trying to get your attention by shooting at you, which it doesn't hurt, but I mean, you can get lost, and if they know the direction and they think you're going the wrong direction, they shoot at you. And I find it odd because I mean, I know there are plenty of people who don't have the Kinect, but I think most people do, because for a long time it was just a forced kind of purchase, and the Kinect is a perfectly serviceable headset if you don't have one, in which people can hear you and then you can communicate with them. So that has to be a decision they made not to want to speak with people, and I don't know why that is, but at the end of the day, I think that I go back and forth on it. I mean, as much as I like it, and there's social hubs like Destiny. Okay, Destiny had the planet you went to, and that's where everyone, that was like the central hub. This one has several safe houses that are central hubs where you can go and meet other players and recruit them to your team and whatnot. It doesn't seem to happen very often. Most often I encounter people in a party and they're not interested in strangers joining up with them. So, it's trying to force geeks to be social is sort of an uphill battle. you know what I mean? But I do enjoy the game, and it's a very pretty game, and it's a lot of fun to play. 10 hours, who knows? Maybe in 20 hours I'll change my tune and I'll tell you it got boring. But so far I'm enjoying the story, and I like it. So that's what I am playing right now, and Jason is still playing Fallout. I can hear him in the background still playing Fallout.
No, I'm actually not playing Fallout.
You're not?
No, I am playing Witcher 3.
Oh, that's one of I love Witcher 3. Boy, did I love Witcher 3.
It's I just barely started it last night. I am in the very beginning, like, tutorial section of the game. Where you very first go in, and your eventual goal is to hunt the griffin.
Right.
But there's a ton of, like, side quests and little places to go that you can go off the beaten track and investigate and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing.
So I'm looking at a story now that I just got to talk about because it's killing me, and it's just so funny. There are students at Emory University, and in case you haven't seen the story, I'll build up to it so that you can.
No,
try and see. You saw it already?
Yeah, I don't, what do you call it on Facebook? You can't say I tweeted it out because you're not on Twitter.
I don't know. I faced it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I booked it. I don't know.
I posted about it on Facebook earlier.
Right. So, all right. So, in case everyone is not familiar, there are students at Emory University reporting that they feel unsafe, and these are quotes, and afraid, with one student saying, "I'm supposed to feel comfortable and safe. I don't deserve to feel afraid at my own school." Then they assembled in a boardroom where they continued to demand a meeting with university president James Wagner. He eventually was asked if he would decry this event. The event that made them scared, afraid, and feeling unsafe was that they came across a chalk marking on the ground that said Trump 2016. So these college-age students were forced to seek counseling, some of them. Others demanded a meeting with the president of the university because they saw some chalk. That's where we are with millennials and higher learning today. They demanded Emory decry the support for this fascist, racist candidate in an official campus-wide email. The president vetoed the idea, but after an hour said the university would review security footage to see if they could identify the individual responsible for the chalk drawings, and perhaps, if it wasn't a student, press trespassing charges. So this is not only these students acting like the lunatics we've become accustomed to, but then it is also the university president pandering to their stupidity, which means that, of course, will continue to happen again and again and again. I know that if my son had come home from college and told me that some chalk made him afraid, I would probably make him watch football or something manly until he found his balls again. I don't know what the hell is wrong with these kids, but oh my God, it's unreal. It's almost unreal. Now, on top of that, I had one guy remind me that he wanted me to discuss something that happened earlier this week. Go ahead.
There is a couple of other bits of console news in addition to Nintendo. If you wanted to talk about them for a bit. First one of which is Sony is releasing at some point an add-on for the PS4. They're calling the PS 4.5. So it's a box you hook onto your existing PlayStation 4, and it provides 4K support for movies and video games to allow them to play on 4K monitors. Current gen games, I don't know if they have to. I don't know. I'm betting money that you're going to have to download updates for any games that decide to support higher resolution graphics, because those obviously did not ship on the discs. And
maybe they upscale. Maybe it'll upscale them. I don't know.
Yeah, if it just upscales them, they'll look like crap.
Yeah, that's my guess.
But my bet is that Sony is only doing this in order to try and sell 4K monitors, because nobody gives a shit right now. Nobody cares.
I've seen them. I mean, I know people who have 4K TVs, and they are quite gorgeous if you're watching something broadcast in 4K. The picture is very good, but I defy you to 99% of the time tell the difference with your naked eye between a 1080i and a 4K. So I mean, you can't, like, it's if the program is specifically made for it, which very few are. there's a few DirecTV channels now that broadcast that way, but I think it's like 3.
See, I had an eye-opening moment at one point. When I first got my Xbox 360, I got the HD DVD add-on. And I bought about a dozen HD DVD movies, including, oddly enough, the Dirty Dozen. But one of them was something I had to show people what the difference between HD DVD and regular DVDs was, and it was Sanctuary. Is that it? No, Serenity. Sorry, Serenity.
Serenity, yeah.
Because there's one point where the spaceships are flying away from the planet right in the beginning, where you have a really nice and easy to compare shot of, okay, this is HD DVD and this is a regular DVD. And you can see the difference quite clearly. Well, then a few years later, they went to, if you had the HDMI cable, where you could do upsampling of regular DVDs. And frankly, once you did upsampling of regular DVDs, there wasn't all that big a difference between the DVD and the HD DVD. Not big enough that you could tell just sitting there watching the movie. You would have to actually pause it to take a look. And so I have no idea if upscaling to 4K will be exactly the same. Will it be that good to where you can't tell, or if it'll just look like crap. But I know with HD DVDs, once they went to the, interpolation upscaling, you really couldn't tell the difference.
Right. Stay tuned, you 10, 11, whatever. People, the Ralph Retort is going to join us in about 10. I just got a message from him. He's running out to get coffee, so unlike last week when he was taking care of his cat. He's going out to get his
cat food.
He's going out to do something with his cat, yeah.
Microsoft as well is planning some kind of add-on box expansion to upgrade the Xbox One to give it better graphics or something. The similar sort of thing to Sony. Now, Sony's is officially announced. They officially announced it. Microsoft's is just rumored right now, but it seems like both of the current major competitors in the console space are looking to do incremental
before
updates.
I forget, there was a surprise announcement too, not just from them, but from Rockstar this week. Did you see that one? They are going to release special editions of Bully and Manhunter on PS4. So if you didn't get a chance to play Bully 2 generations ago, it's coming back.
Yeah, actually, I played Bully on the 360 and on the Xbox.
Did you? I like that game. I never got to finish it. It was a neighbor's, and I had never played it, and he gave me a copy of it, and I had it for just a couple of weeks, and then he decided he wanted to play it again, so he took it back. He was supposed to give it right back to me because there was some sort of an achievement he was trying to get, and I think it might have been like related to a specific date or something. When you put it in, I don't remember, but he wanted it back for a while, and he was going to give it right back to me, so I was going to finish it, but the bastard had a heart attack and died, and I never got the game back.
It's Bully is basically just Grand Theft Auto at an elite prep school. So
I enjoyed it. Yeah, true story though. The guy actually should have over and got it.
I had my own retro game humor this week. I bought once again Fear.
That's a fun game.
It's a great game. I bought it again on the 360 because it's like $17-20 or something.
Yeah.
On Amazon. So I've been playing it, and last night I was playing through it, and it popped up. I got 5 gamer score.
Oh, really?
I'm like, wow! 9 years later, I went back and took me 9 years, but I nailed that 5 gamer score achievement right there.
That's pretty awesome. So you popped that achievement. Okay, good for you. I do like that game. I haven't played that in a long time. Geez, that's going back ways.
Yeah, it's actually got me now, considering going back and getting Fear Files and Perseus Mandate and 2 and 3 just to, finish out the series.
Hey, let's go ahead and take a victory lap about Hulk Hogan body slamming Gawker before I forget, because that's one of the topics people emailed me about this week.
115 million straight up in damages, an additional 25 million. If I remember correctly, I'm just doing this off the top of my head.
You're right. Yeah, it is. That's right.
Punitive damages. So they're going to appeal.
Yeah, they're going to appeal, but they have to put a certain percentage of it away somewhere. I think they have to put it in escrow. Maybe they can't just appeal and pay zero. I think when the appeal goes on, at least a portion of that, like 10%, maybe
up to like 20 million.
Yeah, that has to go somewhere into it. I think it's an escrow account.
And that's a lot of money for anybody. That's a lot of money. There's nobody on the planet that would where 25 or 20 million or 15 million isn't a lot of money. It doesn't matter who you are. So
the thing is that it's pretty common for damages to be reduced on appeal. So it's not like they're going to appeal and win it. There's a chance that the damages will be reduced, but will they be reduced, down to 10 or 15 million? That seems unlikely. It seems like they're going to pay a pretty hefty chunk no matter what happens here. So I think they deserve it. They need to do a version of Bully set at an SJW infested university. I would pay a lot of money for that game. A lot of money for that game. So I saw some people that said, very few really people complained about it that I saw. I'm sure there were some, but overall, I looked at the Gawker when it was trending. I looked at the tag, and there were a few people that, the usual drama queens, death of journalism and all that bullshit. If leaking a private tape of Hulk Hogan getting his rocks off is your definition of journalism, then it's not exactly Watergate, I don't know why if that's your definition of journalism. Maybe at TMZ that's journalism. In the real world, that's something that we could all live without.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for it. And some other guy was, I saw one tweet from a news outlet, and it probably was Salon because they're retarded, that said it's a $50 million bond. Okay, thanks, Wolfman. $50 million bond they have to post. Holy shit. So I think it might have been Salon, but they had said that it's disingenuous of the jury to find this because Hulk goes ahead and leaks his public information, his private information anyway on his reality show, and giving interviews he says things that are private and whatnot. But the point is that it's his information to leak as he sees fit. It's not you can't just take pictures through someone's window because they're a reality star and say, well, you're not very private anyway. It's his information. It's up to him how that gets out there. He can't just there's a reason why there's laws about things like that. So you can't just do it. You can't just leak people's private information whenever you want to. The only people I ever saw stick up for Gawker on Twitter were probably the same people who run around calling everyone else a bully for retweeting and quoting their tweets and things. It's
aggressive people unfollowing.
Yeah. They have PTSD from a mean tweet and they don't know what they're saying. I don't know, but the bottom line is Gawker got what they deserved, and frankly, I'm surprised that it took this long for them to get what they deserved. And Hulk might not be the nicest guy in the world. I'm sure that he's not, but nonetheless, it's a dangerous precedent if they allowed Gawker to do stuff like that. He's not there are people who leak sex tapes on purpose. Everyone knows that. This wasn't one of those cases. He didn't want this out.
And here's the thing.
Nobody's business,
It's not like there's a special magical tag that attends only to celebrities. If this is legal for Gawker to do, then it's legal for Craig Britton to do his revenge porn website.
Exactly.
I mean, because if it's legal to do this to Hulk Hogan, it's legal to do it to you, or legal to do it to anybody. What do they call it? The fappening, where they took all those iPhone pictures.
Yeah,
that would be absolutely legal. If this was legal to Gawker to do, then it was legal to steal Jennifer Lawrence's nudes that she intended only for her boyfriend at the time. You know, that's just, if you're trying to claim that this is good, normal, decent, that we should allow this by law, and you got to remember too, Gawker, in order to post this video, defied the order of a judge. I mean, that's just asking.
And they tweeted it. Judge asked us to take it down. We refused.
Yeah. So
that's, there you go, guys. Here's a message from Ralph. Exact words. Those motherfuckers at McDonald's now have to brew this coffee. I'll be 2 or 3 minutes later than I thought. Just get a Keurig, Ralph. Doesn't someone send Ralph a Keurig? If Ralph doesn't have a Keurig brewer, then someone send him a Keurig brewer so he doesn't have to go to McDonald's for his coffee.
Can't drink Coke just this once.
The man loves his coffee. What can you say? I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know. Now, there was another topic.
So what are the odds that he's going to make that Irish?
He's going to. I hope he Irishes it up. You know, we haven't had Drunk Ralph on the show yet. I begged him. I've begged him to be Drunk Ralph, but he hasn't done it yet. I love Drunk Ralph. I hear him on other shows, but I never get it here. I don't know if there's any. I'm just going to check and see if there was any updates on. Well, there is one special alert. Is ISIS dispatches 400 fighters to stage terror attacks in Europe. But I think that's old. I think it's been on there all day.
Yeah,
I don't think that's new news. I don't think there is any new news in regards to the Brussels terror attacks.
I just want to say this. That was terrible what happened in Brussels, and I doubt anybody listening is Belgian, but my sincere sympathy goes out to everybody who was hurt, everybody who was killed, and their family and loved ones. That was brutal, nasty, unpleasant, and no one deserves what happened to those poor people.
No, but it's also preventable if you're willing to do what it takes. And we talked about it last week, but so I won't go into it again. But it's barbarous and unsurprising. It's now I think we're to the point where if a week goes by without some sort of event, and the thing is too that usually a week doesn't go by. It's just that it happens in some place where you expect it. So if something blows up in Baghdad and somebody explodes themselves in a market somewhere in Pakistan, you're like, well, it's business as usual. Unfortunately, that's just the way we view it now because it happens so frequently. But it's Brussels, Paris, somewhere else. It's a little more startling, but
yeah, there was one in Yemen recently, one in Turkey recently.
There's one just about every day. I mean, you can barely get through a day without seeing the religion of peace blow somebody up. It's almost a daily occurrence, and every time, as I said before, every single time there's a major terrorist attack in an otherwise peaceful nation like Brussels or France, the one thing I can count on is the first thing that the leftists, just JWs, will do is run to Twitter and start a Muslim hashtag to tell me how peaceful they are. Every single time. It's the first thing that trends. Muslims, then Brussels.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton did it. After Brussels, she's like, no, they have absolutely nothing to do with it. I mean, I'm sorry.
However,
I know
I thought it was a good snapshot, though, of on the left half of the screen on, I think it was CNN, they have Brussels burning to the ground, and on the right half you have Obama doing the wave with a murderous dictator in Cuba at a baseball game. I'm not so sure that, and then, of course, earlier before that, he had taken a picture of himself in front of the Shea Monument. So if those are the two, if those two photos should definitely make it into the Obama presidential library, if you ask me, because I don't know, I'm not so sure that anything sums them up quite as well as those two pictures.
It's sad and disgusting. I mean, there are some just unbelievably evil things that ISIS has done that is just, I don't even want to talk about them on the show just because they're so appalling, and that's not the point of the show. I'm wondering at what point people say, you know what, enough is enough. We just need to exterminate these people. I saw Andrea, whatever her name is, on Fox last night saying, oh no, we can't do that. We can't take the war to ISIS. We can't kill 30,000 scumbags because we just NATO can't. I'm like, are you insane? Are you smoking crack? I mean, I know she's a conservative and everything, but that was just gobsmackingly insane. Of course, we can kill 30,000 people who are, you know, the scum of the earth terrorists. We're the United States.
And by the way, what is the world coming to when it's left-wing nutbag Pierce Morgan, who comes out this morning and says, it's time we started listening. I think this might have been the title of the article, but if it wasn't, it was definitely the subheader. It's time we started listening to Donald Trump on terror. Piers Morgan. He said the crux of his article was Donald Trump was right on Brussels. 2 months ago, he said something terrible is brewing in Brussels, and Cruz and Bernie both made fun of him for it, and then Piers Morgan, left wing. I mean, he's a pretty radical left wing guy, so I was pretty shocked when I saw the article. I kind of assumed it was a satire before I got into it, but he actually did say it, and the tweets coming out of the Hillary camp and the Bernie camp are the usual. Let us not make this. Let this incident, not engender more hate for the Muslim world, that kind of thing. And then, of course, there's Trump tweets that we're going to stop this. We're going to find a way to stop this barbarism. And I think it's incredibly tone deaf of the two Democratic candidates, no matter where you stand on whether you like them or not. It's incredibly tone deaf, and it's not people want to hear. What people want is to hear, we're going to kill these fucking scumbags because we're sick of watching innocent people blow up. And it happens every week, and we're tired of it, and we're going to kill them. That's what we want to hear. That's what has to happen, not let's all get together and hug it out. Every time somebody blows up a group of innocent people, we have to have a hug fest. And you know what? We're tired of it. I think most people are just tired of it.
People, what I sent out this morning is that if you think that Islamophobia is the real problem, how many World Trade Centers has Islamophobia blown up?
Yeah, there's a meme going around that I love, and it's I mean, I don't love it because it's a little gory, but it's a woman at the in the I think she's from the Boston Marathon bombings, and she's got blood all over her and a couple of wounds. I mean, she's obviously not in that bad a shape, but she's shocked, and the caption is, "This woman appears to be suffering from Islamophobia."
Yeah.
I mean, it's I'm sorry that it makes me chuckle, but it's true. I mean, it's just so true. And yeah, you're right. There's a guy here. Yeah, if it was a Christian who did it, but come on, I don't know if I could name the last Christian suicide bomber. So that's where we are with that. Yeah, let's. I mean, I wish there was. I was kind of hoping there'd be more news, like they had caught the remaining. They might all be dead. I know it seems like they accidentally killed their bomb makers from what I saw earlier, which is not something they typically do. Usually they let those guys live on because they need them. So I think that they might have accidentally gotten rid of one of them yesterday because they had reported him. They had reported that he built them, but the actual device. But then today they reported that he was killed in the attack. So if that's true, that seems like somebody might have screwed up. I don't know how that happened, but.
I saw the best video on YouTube. It was awesome. It was a bunch of guys sitting around in a party right before one of them was going to go off and do a suicide bombing. So they're sitting there, they're laughing, and all of a sudden the vest goes off prematurely.
Yeah, good. Hope it hurt. I hope waiting on my McDonald's coffee to brew.
What's
Jesus
up?
Christ. There he is.
Yeah,
Come on, Ralph.
Yeah, I had to get I went up there to get some coffee. I was like, I'm gonna get some coffee real quick.
You don't
then I went up there and they didn't, like, they were out of coffee, so they had to brew some. Not only that, they were fucking like hosing down the inside of it, like, to get all the grime off the floor. And then some old dude that used to work at McDonald's just like, what the fuck? You guys are supposed to do that after it closes. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, the whole floor was like soaked. They were literally spraying the shit down. I'm a little flustered, but
We
I'm,
got a little donation together when we were gone. We're gonna set up a Patreon and get you a Keurig, so you
Yeah.
can stop going to McDonald's.
I have a French press, but I'm just out of. I don't have much coffee, and I don't have any cream. So what I do is I go up to McDonald's and get me a cup of coffee and make them give me like non-cream, so I can come back and use some of that. Eventually, tomorrow, the next day, I'm gonna go to the store and get some cream and coffee. But I have plenty of sugar at least.
Hey, did you go back to England when I was gone? Did I miss that?
No, I'm going May 20th. I'm flying out, and I'll be there on the 21st.
Oh, May 20th. All right, okay. I thought I missed the last version. I mean, I haven't talked to you since I left for vacation. I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't make it last week, and then the week before you were on vacation. Where'd you go anyway?
Sort of.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, we crossed paths in Virginia the day you tweeted that you were in Virginia.
Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, I remember you mentioned you're like we should have got a beer.
Yeah, if I'd have known you were going to be in Virginia, I would have detoured.
That's where I live, man.
I had it in my head you were in Tennessee for some reason.
Well, you know, I don't. I always talk about my Memphian heritage, but that is my home area where I lived for my first 20 years. But I live in Richmond right now, so.
Oh shit! I didn't know that, man. I totally could have hooked up.
Yeah, well, we'll get it someday. How's it going, War Pig? I ain't talked to your ass in a while either.
I will be, just so I don't forget, Ralph. I'm probably gonna be heading back that way, early June.
Well, it depends. I may or may not be here. I'm gonna be in England. Let's see. I'll probably be back though, so we'll probably do something.
Yeah, I'm gonna be driving back down through. I'm gonna hit Savannah, and then I'm gonna carry on down to Tampa for a while. So.
Yeah, man. Let's get together and have a beer or something.
Yeah, let's do it. The rest of you people listening, you're not fucking invited. So.
No, they're out. They're not part of the Cool Kids Club.
We're gonna eat pizza with pineapple on it.
Oh man, the best pizza place in town is like right around the corner from my house, man. This dude's from fucking Sicily. Oh my god, literally, that's where he came off the boat from fucking Sicily. Lived in New York for a while, now he's here just cooking it up, man. It's so good. The thing about this coffee is it's freshly brewed, so damn, it's tasty, I gotta say.
It should be freshly brewed. It took an hour.
Oh shit, man. Oh,
Savannah is great. Yeah, Savannah is great, man. I love Savannah. It's awesome down there. Yep. It's great. And then they got the SCAD college, you know, the College of Art and Design down there in Savannah, so they have a pretty decent nightlife. I mean, they're all freaking weirdos, but the students are all weirdos, but the nightlife is fun.
Yep. That's what it's all about. Parties.
All right. So, what did I miss, Ralph? I mean, there must have been I haven't seen any controversy on your timeline in like 2 weeks, so maybe.
Well, I had a little drama yesterday, but I've been keeping it mostly. I've been kind of just trying to do my own thing, stay out of drama for the most part. A couple little episodes here and there, but yeah, just kind of doing my own thing. Working on the site. Had a couple big kill streams. Sargon was on a couple weeks ago. Janet.
Oh, no shit.
We had a good show last weekend too. So.
SCAD women, he says. Yeah, use that term loosely. They all have blue hair and lip rings and are pushing. They're art students, man. There's nothing. Believe me, there's nothing to see down there.
Yeah, just not too much drama. Wrote something about Anita. Her fundraiser's kind of struggling, and sure enough, today she's got an article in the Mary Sue claiming my harassment again. So I know it's a shock.
Claiming you harassed her?
No, she didn't mention me specifically. I wish she would. That'd be good for business. Hopefully she will next time. But
so her fundraisers.
I know Zoe's done that several times, and I was just smiling big as hell every time she did. So I love it when they mention me.
Her fundraiser's struggling, so she went to play the victim card over on the Mary.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it. Like, I don't even know what she's talking about, honestly. I read through, like, skimmed through the article. I'm going to write something about it here in a minute. But I skimmed through it before I left, and I was like, oh, my God. Sure enough, somebody called that on my timeline last night. They're just like, wait and see. Now, see, the way this thing works, she has 38% as of an hour or two ago. She's got to get 80% or else she doesn't get anything. It's not like Kickstarter, though. She doesn't have to get all the money. She's got to get 80%. So I mean, even in the article that I wrote yesterday talking about her being behind, off pace, I still said she's probably going to get it by hook or by crook. Somebody's going to give her the money or she's going to donate herself. Like, I don't see her not getting it. I mean, hopefully I'm wrong, but she's struggling a little bit right now. And I saw Tim Schafer supposedly gave her a huge donation, and then Max Temkin gave her $25K. So those are like two people. Yeah, those are two people, and allegedly Tim Schafer gave her $30K. So that's what, $55K right there. She's only at, I think, 76. She's got to get 160 to collect. So,
how long she got? How much?
She's got 14 days left. So.
Oh man, that'd be awesome if she didn't make it.
I know. I'm trying not to get too excited because I got a feeling somebody's gonna come in and make up the difference there at the end. But hey, she's off pace as of now.
And Tim Schafer's money was subsidized by dumb gamers.
Yeah, I'll never buy anything from that bastard. I've never been that big a Tim Schafer fan anyway, so that's just me. I know he's got some classics, whatever, Day of the Tentacle and some games like that, but I don't I never really cared for it. So, but yeah, I know some people are suckers. They're easily parted from their money.
Cav Scout has to peace out, but tell Ralph to keep rocking the WWE 2K16 Codex music.
Oh, dude, yeah, I put out a little video of me dancing to that. Dude, that shit was bumping. It's really good.
Is that the game? Is that what you're currently playing, WWE?
Yeah, I don't get to play games much anymore, but I've played a lot. That's what my last game that I played was that, and playing a little NBA, just here and there, playing some shit.
Yeah, I haven't really. I've been slacking with the site. I mean, I wrote an article when I was on vacation when I got bored one night, and because I'm a night owl is what happens, and so we all go to Disney, right? We get in the car, we go to Disney, and come back from the park. It's whatever, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Everyone's tired. They go pass out and go to sleep, but I just can't, man. I'm up till 2 no matter what. That's just always been my way. I cannot sleep at night, so I wrote an article in the room on vacation, but that's really the last time I managed to crank one out. I've been sort of slacking on it, but I don't know. I've been trying to catch up from some of the stuff I was supposed to do. The day job stuff during the day.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, you got a day job, so I understand. Yeah, pretty much blogging though. You gotta. That's the key to it. Honestly, is just to get out content, get out shit every single day. And it can get to be a grind, even for me, where that's my job. But even so, like, some days I'm just like, God, I really don't feel like writing shit today. It's just like,
yeah. Well, too, the blessing of it for you though is that you get people to point stuff out to you.
Yeah, that's true. People send me tips all the time, and I'm just like, oh,
I just sit there. I mean, like this morning I was gonna write something, but I stared at the screen I only had an hour.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't think of anything. I was just had like writer's block going.
Honestly, it's rare that I can't, like you said, people write articles for me and send them to me, like, here, you want to put up my article? I'm like, yeah, if it's decent, I will. And they give me all kinds of tips and stuff's going on. Ralph, you need to write about this, you need to follow this. So, yeah, it's pretty rare that I don't find something around.
I mean, I get stuff from Ruckus, but that's, his take on movies or like his favorite martial arts stuff. I mean, that's fine because I have a film section on there, but the Black History Month thing that I did, I'd like to do more stuff like that, but it's just a matter of trying to come up with this stuff. And the beauty of the internet is by the time I see something controversial, there's already 400 articles about it, and it kind of feels stale. By the time I get to it, it's not like I.
Yeah, I understand. Don't worry about recovering the same ground though. That's another thing. Just hit it, man. If you find something you want to write about, don't let that stop you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get cranking on it this week. I'm starting to catch up. Now, you know what happened too is that this is weird, but I go to the bar one night at Disney, downtown Disney, and I'm sitting there having a beer because everyone went to bed again, so it's just me and I'm having a beer, and I start talking to this guy. I think he worked for Verizon or something, and he's shit-faced wasted, and he's asking me, hey, what do you do? And I tell him I'm in marketing and public relations, and then this other guy staggers up and he starts talking to me. Hey, my company needs marketing, but I'm here with my whole company. We're on a retreat. And so we exchanged numbers and the whole thing, and I kind of thought, guy was 4 or 5 beers deep. I'd never hear from him, but I did hear from him. So I've actually had some stuff I've been doing for him this week that's kind of tied me up unexpectedly. I'm grateful for it, but I never thought, what are the odds that some guy in, downtown Disney's going to hire you when you get home. I mean,
Hey, that's how it happens sometimes, man. That's pretty good.
yeah,
Fortuitous.
I told Kate too because I'm like, see, I told you it pays to go to bars. I don't know why. I don't know how you could ever bitch about me going to the bar again.
Yeah, my trips to the bar don't usually end like that, but we'll see.
Right, I assume yours ended a taser in the ride home.
Yeah, I was about to say free ride sometimes. Not necessarily being at my house, but yeah.
Yeah, not to your house directly.
Yeah.
Poor War Pig, he's never been tasered, I bet.
You know, I haven't been tasered or pepper sprayed, but I have got my ass kicked by the police. That's not too fun.
Oh man, you're always full of good stories. I never know what's gonna come out.
Yeah, I could do a whole stream on stories like that, but we'll save that for another time.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So, all right, I got a topic, oddly enough, that has come from not just there's one guy on Twitter, David T. Dragonite, but it's actually I've heard it from 3 or 4 different people, and he's a good dude. This guy, he's one of the guys that listens every week, but for whatever reason, I've gotten 3 or 4 emails about it also through the website, and they want to hear about SeaWorld because they think their position is that SJWs have been attacking SeaWorld for over a year now. And SeaWorld let out an announcement. Actually, they were trending a little bit last week because they announced that they were going to kill off their orca program, their orca shows, and their orca breeding thing. And so,
yeah, I heard about that.
So the hippies took a victory lap, and so not everyone's thrilled about it. I mean, a lot of people feel it was the typical SJW activists who caused it. And I can tell you, I've been to SeaWorld many times. I was there when I was a kid. We went a lot, and I certainly left SeaWorld more fascinated and eager to learn about the ocean and perhaps ocean conservation and about orcas. And I did learn about them, and I read about them independently, and I became aware of them and the issues surrounding them because of SeaWorld. And I know many people. I know one guy who went to marine biology school because of it. So they're you can't just discount. I mean, it's a typical SJW activist. No matter what the topic, games, movies, SeaWorld, it's the same thing. It's an overreaction, and they discount all the good things that come of it, and they just pretend because they have this sort of myopic vision, and once they start on something, they just can't let it go. And you know what? Here's my take on it. I think that feminism and the people who attack SeaWorld and Black Lives Matter are all similar in one way. When that movie, I don't know if any of you saw the movie The Cove. Have any of you seen the movie The Cove?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, actually I have. With DiCaprio?
No, The Cove was a documentary 3-4 years ago, and it was about the Japanese fishing village where they would herd the dolphins up into a little cove, and then it was some kind of bizarre tradition of theirs, and then they would beat them to death with sticks once they got them up on the rocks. So The Cove spawned a Best Documentary nomination, and it was pretty horrendous. I don't know if you haven't seen it, maybe don't, because it's horrendous and difficult to watch. But that spawned a whole movement where people wanted to shut down the Cove. Okay, and they did, for the most part, shine a very bright spotlight on it. And then, but here's how I'm going to tie these 3 movements together. Okay, what happens, in my opinion, with a movement like that is that once they accomplish or come close to accomplishing what it is they set out to do in the first place, they don't just disband and go away and say, okay, we're done. They look for other ways to stay relevant, and then they begin to overreach, and then they start spewing nonsense like sexism in video games because they've already accomplished what they set out to accomplish. Well, when The Cove came out, I saw the Facebook groups. I joined some of them. I too thought it would be best if that practice was ended, and I watched those groups morph from that into Stop Shark Finning, and most of them changed their names to that. And then they started to really get traction there, and then they morphed over into that stupid movie Blackfish, which took a hard look at SeaWorld because they had accomplished what they set out to do in the first 2 things, and they had to stay relevant somehow. So then they turn their eyes on SeaWorld, and for over a year now, they've been battering away at them. So they, in a desperate desire to continue being activists and being relevant, they just went ahead and overreached and started being a little nonsensical. And it's the same in this. You can trace the same pattern back to feminism. How their goals were laudable 60, 70 years ago, and then as they accomplished them, they just couldn't stop. They just didn't disband and go home. They just had to overreach and start going on and on and on about stupid things because they had to. They didn't know how to stop. That's what they do. They live to be activists, and so activists have to protest something, and that's what happened. So, in my opinion, that's how all those movements, that's how they're similar. And so, I really think the SeaWorld thing is a tragedy. I think there's a lot of people out there who fell in love with those animals and chose of life maybe that was about ocean conservation, was about trying to learn about the orcas, and they've ruined it now. Now there is no way your kids aren't going to go to SeaWorld and see those animals. The only thing they'll be able to do is see them on video or go on a whale watch, but it's not going to inspire the same kind of devotion that had for years. And plus, SeaWorld has had a reputation for being for rescuing large amounts of ocean animals over the years. I mean, hundreds of thousands of animals since SeaWorld has been started. In fact, the manatee issue was, when they were nearly extinct, the ones who were at the forefront of that movement to stop it was SeaWorld, because they opened a rescue shelter for manatees that were hit by boat propellers, because that was the leading cause of death, was moron drunken boaters in Florida who went zooming through their habitats and would hit them with boat motors, and SeaWorld is the one that put a stop to that. So a lot of good comes of that, but typical activists, typical SJWs, they don't see that. They just have a cause, and they're going to get it. They're going to see it through no matter what the consequences are. Sorry. That's my take on that.
One of the things that happens, and I notice it happening to me, so this is how I know this is a thing. This is not something I'm saying to try and throw crap at other people, because this happened to me and I had to learn about it and watch out for it myself. If you're dealing with genuinely bad people, or people you think are genuinely bad, it's like SJWs. Just, some of them, one of them tried to assault his stepsister. One of them is a literal pedophiliac, and everybody else is defending him. It's real easy to feel morally superior to these assholes because they're scum. I mean, they're really actually no shit scum. But if that happens all the time and it goes on long enough, you begin to be habituated, almost addicted to feeling morally superior to the people you're arguing with, because you have been dealing with people you are morally superior to. But that gets to be dangerous, because one of two things can happen. Either you start to think that you're morally superior to everybody who you disagree with or you have arguments with, or you start to look for things to have arguments about so you can feel that rush of being morally superior again. And activists who are permanent activists are addicted to the rush they get of feeling self-righteous and angry and like they're out in the world being paladins, striking down literal forces of literal evil. Sometimes that's true. If you're out killing ISIS, you're literally killing literal evil. That's great. But if you're arguing about the rates of ATM machines in San Francisco, that they should cap those rates at $5, that $6 rates are wrong, I'm sorry, that's not literal actual evil you're arguing against. That's just a policy position. And they try to make everything into literal actual good and evil, and they try to look for fights like that or magnify fights into that. And it started happening with me, so I had to, I have to kind of amp it down when I start to feel like that. I just have to stop and say, yeah, you know what? The people you're arguing with may actually be bad people, but when you start to feel self-righteous, that's bad for you. And these people never realized that.
Well, you you take it down because that's what normal people do. I mean, normal people don't go around feeling self-righteous all the time. There's a certain internal check and balance that SJWs just do not have, and so I maybe I'm not explaining it right. I mean, in terms of the my overall theory, which is that the SJW types, they don't just accomplish their goals and stop. What I mean to say is they just keep overreaching because it's the life that they know, and they have to feel superior, and they have to have a cause. And when they accomplish one goal, they move on to the next cause, no matter how absurd. And it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, because they're addicted to that feeling of being a crusader, of being a righteous person out striking down evil.
Spot on.
So that's why
this is how a movement, and because they won so many decisive victories so fast, this is how a movement goes from stop beating dolphins to death with sticks to stop taking care of orcas at SeaWorld. This is how a movement goes from that point to that point so fast. It's because of smugs. And I always, when I hear about it, I always think of the South Park episode with the cloud of smog and when everyone was driving the Priuses and farting into the wine glasses and smelling it. It's always, SJWs, that's always the clip that goes through my head when I hear about it. So to the 4 of you who asked for it, that's my take on the SeaWorld thing. I'm not thrilled about it. I'm actually pretty pissed about it, but SeaWorld is going to cave because they're taking a beating in the press. They fought a terrible public relations battle with these people, and I don't think they took it seriously enough at first. And unfortunately, that Blackfish movie got some traction because some Hollywood SJWs got behind it, and there you have it. I mean, if you look on Netflix, the rating on that flick is about 2. And if you look online, you can see there's multiple websites that debunk a lot of what is said on there, and there's some assumptions made about the animals themselves that some actual marine biologists took issue with. So it's a typical leftist documentary, like in that it's not entirely truthful, but for some reason, certain activists take it as gospel.
I don't know if I've ever mentioned American Zombie before. Have I ever mentioned that before?
No.
Okay. American Zombie is a movie that it is so absolutely brilliant. It's made by a left-wing documentarian, okay? And it's about people in America who are turning into zombies, but they're still lucid. They can still talk and stuff, and they have a civil rights group for zombies. And
oh man, that would so happen.
The awesome thing about it is she's been making left-wing documentaries for so long that it is a perfect satire of every left-wing documentary you have ever seen. She has got like the pretentious, all up in his own ass academic talking about, instead of talking about art or talking about whatever, he's talking about zombies and how bigoted Americans are because they don't accept zombie Americans. And then they go to this kind of zombie Burning Man festival, and that's the climax of the movie. I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but it's just amazing.
I believe I will look that up.
Someone who is an actual left-wing I mean, she's literally like won awards for making documentaries. Is willing to be as vicious.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
And I don't know if she was meant it to be a satire. If this, she just made it like this because she knows the community so well. It's the sad thing is it's not really a satire. It seems satirical until you've seen some more of these movies or talked to some more of these people, because you realize, oh my God, this is a satire. This is just simply the way they act on everything else. Only in this movie, it's about zombies, and it's brilliant.
No kidding. I'm going to have to find that. I'm really going to have to look that up.
I watched it on Netflix originally. I don't know if it's available on Netflix still, but it's called American Zombie, and it's just genius.
I haven't seen a good movie in a while, to be honest with you. I haven't made it to the theaters, and I don't think I've been there since Creed. I've missed a lot. I didn't even see Star Wars. I never actually got to see it.
Oh, the Rip's out, man. It came out yesterday, so.
The Rip sound?
I already got it. Of course, I saw it in the theater, too, so.
I'll have to get a VPN. I still don't have one. So,
speaking of VPNs, I got some news about that. I started using my VPN apparently about 2 years and 3 months ago, and the Escapist doesn't play well with it. So I just stopped going to the Escapist and stopped reading their stuff and stopped, watching Zero Punctuation. And I found out last night that it has been 2 years and 2 months since I've watched any Zero Punctuation. So I started getting caught up. I caught up on all the ZP episodes I missed. And here's the news. All that isn't news. That's just why it happened. Here's the news. I complain all the time about how thin the game, the stable of games are for the current generation of consoles. How few games there are. How there's just absolutely almost nothing out there. And you realize that there's nothing out there by listening to Zero Punctuation, because he used to be talking all the time about everything that was available, and he would review it because that's his thing. But now he's gone so much of the time to reviewing 2 different indie games that he gets off Steam or whatever, because there are just no major console releases that he can actually review. And it's shocking how little there is from AAA games on consoles in this generation for the last couple of years. So yeah, that just really proved
the software library is a little bit thin. It is a little bit thin, but that's what you said. I mean, remember we talked about it last week when we talked about the Xbox maybe moving over into basically becoming a little PC, a useless Windows, a shitty useless Windows PC. So if that happens, who knows? I mean, like you said, developers, they said they were just starting to figure out how to develop for these systems. So if they start upgrading them already, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I don't know if maybe PS4 will get more exclusives, and maybe Xbox is just going to bow out entirely, and that'll actually boost the software market. Or maybe the new Nintendo, whatever it's going to be, the NX or whatever, will stop being just a kids gaming station and actually put some of these AAA titles on their system. I don't know what they're planning, but something tells me they're planning to ramp up their hardware.
Yeah, they said the Wii U is about to cease production. I read that the other day. So.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't entirely get that, because they've got a sort of cult following, and they have actually sold a surprising number of units. Mostly probably due to their low price point, but Nintendo fans are loyal. They're like Trump fans, man. Nintendo fans aren't going anywhere. So I don't know if they want to do. I mean, if I heard long ago that they wanted to revamp their hardware so they could compete with the other systems, because obviously graphically and they just things like they just can't stand up to the hardware of the PS4s of the world. But if they want to, they're going to have to go with a new console. But if they do that, then they have to start accepting AAA titles, and that means all of them, and they can't just be the kids console anymore, because what's the point of having the hardware if all they want to do is release Mario Kart 16 times a year? They denied the Wii U was ceasing production. Yeah, I saw they denied it.
Oh, they denied it? Okay, I didn't see.
I saw that they denied it, but I sort of don't know that that's... You see, what happens is a rumor like that gets out there, and everyone says, well, fuck it, I'm not buying one then. So they don't want that getting out there before they act. They won't announce they are going to cease it. Probably they'll just cease it. And then they'll tell you 2 weeks ago we stopped making them, so what's on the shelves is on the shelves. But that would just hurt sales if they announced it now. I can't. That's like I worked for a restaurant once, and the thing was the restaurant was going to close, right? It was back in my college days. And the stupid fucks that owned the place sent us a letter that said, in 2 weeks the restaurant's going to cease operations. By the time those idiots walked through the door to close the place, everything that wasn't bolted down was gone. You don't announce it early, man. The liquor cabinet was empty. It was gone. It's awesome. Some of the stuff that was bolted down was gone. Somebody took the booths out of the bar area.
Clean them out.
Yep, that's why I don't announce it. So, I mean, what else is going on here, Ralph? Because I count on you to bring the controversy, and you've been so tame. You got all your channels back now on YouTube?
They didn't give me the one backup channel back. There's no reason. It's funny because 2 of them got spam reported, and they said they were spam channels, and they gave one of them back because they weren't spam channels, and then the other one, they kept telling me it was, so they never gave it back. I don't really care because the other ones were the other one was the bigger one, but I had a couple shows on there that I can't get now, which is kind of pissing me off, but whatever. Yeah, so they gave them back though. Got my AdSense back and all that. So.
There you go. Hey, you got your AdSense back?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Good for you.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Warpig, how did your DCMA, your takedown go last week?
I'm still waiting for it. It's still on the 14 days, so.
You don't. So no, you have no answer on that yet. You're still.
No answer yet. Nothing I can do about it.
So were you able to do a Geek Gab this past week?
I've been doing them on this account actually. I can do it on this account, not GeekGab. So yeah, we've done it for 2 weeks on this account because this is a brand new account. It's a Google Plus account, so it's got YouTube on it automatically, and I haven't ever had any problems on this one, so I can just do the regular stuff.
Huh? I still can't believe that it takes 14 days to figure out that you weren't uploading Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, whatever they thought you were doing to your.
Oh yeah, it's a half-hour show. It's physically impossible for me to have uploaded a 2-hour movie into a half-hour, video. It can't be done.
It's just ridiculous that it takes 2 weeks to figure that out. Let's see. I was supposed to watch Daredevil, the season 2, for this week, so I could talk about it. I mean, Ruckus has been. He's just in love with it. He says it's amazing, and I think you posted on Facebook, right, that you're in love with it too.
I thought it was great. I thought it did an incredible job. So, yeah.
I just haven't gotten to it yet. What happened was, this is embarrassing, but I turned Hulu on the other day because I was doing some work and I wanted something in the background, which is normally how I work. If it's not music, it's a TV show, but I'm not one of those dudes that can just sit in a quiet room and start writing. I can't do it. I have to have some noise. I don't know what it is about me, but I got to have a little noise going on. So I turned on, and when I go to Hulu for background noise, I usually go back to my childhood and try to find something I've already seen. So I'm looking through like the 80s TV shows or whatever, and don't I stumble across Hunter from 1984 with Fred Dryer, and I start watching it, and I'm like, shit, this is as good as I remember it being. I mean, it's fun, Dirty Harry-ish style, action. I'm digging it. And then, man, I got into it. So I'm still watching it. So I never went back to Daredevil, but as soon as I get through Hunter, I'm going to go back to Daredevil. And plus, I'm a season behind on House of Cards.
No, don't say anything about House of Cards. I'm behind as well, and I'm not even going to look at the chat. So, yeah.
They won't spoil. They don't do that here. We don't spoil things here. This season of House of Cards isn't even that old, right? I mean, we're still within the.
No, it ain't that old, but you know how it gets.
We're in the spoiler. What do we call that before? Warpig, the
statute
spoiler.
of limitations.
Yeah, we're still in the statute of limitations on that one. Is AdSense decent revenue? Oh, I don't know, Red. It depends. I've seen people make some pretty good money on AdSense, and I've seen others that it just depends. You need shit tons of traffic. You're not going to get anything if you got 1,000 viewers on your site. You're not going to get much for every 1,000. My experience with it has been for every 1,000 you might make $1. So.
Oh no, it's better than that. Well, I mean, it depends on a few factors. It's not just the traffic numbers; it's the people you're attracting. I mean, Google's got all kinds of algorithms. It's also, is it a constant spot? Are people returning? Is it like an audience that you have that's coming back? So it depends on a few different factors. Me personally, I do all right on there. I could do better if I worked harder. That's the main problem. I need to put out more shit. But I do way better on, in terms of money-wise, on articles than I do on videos. I mean, videos, you got to get a lot. Of course, the same type of factors come into play, but
I've never done anything on videos. I mean, I'm talking about not just from my personal experience, like with the Bacon Bit show. I have for years I've written here and there. I've written articles for other people, ghostwritten articles that had websites going, and I've always seen the Google Analytics on them, and personally, I have found that for every 1,000 or so, I might have gotten $1 or $2 out of the for people that clicked. But
well, I can make 5, 10 plus dollars off a 1,000, 2,000 article, depending on who comes in the traffic there. But you don't make shit off a 1,000 view video. Like, it's nothing. So
No,
I don't know.
I
If it's
don't.
got to do with
I've
I mean, my
never
stock
had a
and trade
1,000
is
view
pretty
video.
much writing, so I don't know if it has to do with, like I said earlier, just it's a blog spot that continually has an audience or what. But I don't really get shit for videos.
I don't know. I've never gotten a thing from. I don't think I've gotten a penny on any of the videos. I mean, I think the most I've ever had is like 200, or I think maybe the first week you were on, I hit like 250 or something like that. But for the most part, I hover right around 100 or 110, something in that area. Not exactly a massive audience. And there's always one asshole who thumbs down it, gives me a thumbs down. Every week, there's one guy who gives me a thumbs down. I don't know who it is or why. You know what? Just leave a comment and tell me what the thumbs down's about. Will you?
Maybe you can fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, then I can fix it. Every week, it's one guy with a thumbs down. It's annoying. I just want to know why. What am I doing so wrong? I'm gonna obsess over it now.
I didn't get that, but when I was on Twitter, I would have like right before Fallout 4 came out and right before Force Awakens came out, I had 2 or 3 anime avatar people jumping out to try and spoil it for me.
Oh, really?
Yes, I don't know who these assholes were or what I did to piss them off, but because I don't recognize the account, so
What were they
just
trying
like
to spoil?
Fallout 4, the ending of Fallout 4.
I got spoiled on that too.
Force Awakens.
I got spoiled on that too. Yeah, both of them.
It was just like they popped into Twitter and posted some stuff. I'm just like, what's the deal?
Man, nobody's done that to me. I'm not important enough. I don't get review copies or spoilers.
Oh, here's the funniest thing. I don't know if you guys got this. I got an email from Twitter the other day saying that it's their 10-year anniversary on Twitter.
I got it.
I was just like, thank you. We couldn't have done it without you. And I just wanted to swear at them like, you dumb bastards.
By the way, as I predicted, Professor never did come back.
Oh, he never did come back
No,
to
I
Twitter?
haven't seen him come back. Yeah, I was looking for him today.
He's gone.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, he hasn't been on the show either since then.
He's just gone, man. He has stopped. He doesn't. At first, when he went off Twitter, he was responding to direct messages a lot, and then after that, he was pretty responsive with emails, and now he's just vanished. I don't know where he is.
I wonder if they told him to chill out on the.
I'm wondering maybe if something happened at school. I don't know. I mean, because he does work at an SJW training camp, so who knows if there was any complaints about. Maybe somebody heard something I said on here and he got in trouble. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully he comes back.
Or something. Or maybe something.
Or he could just be busy. Who knows, man? But yeah, hopefully he does come back.
Yeah, he said he was just quitting for. Oh, Lent ends at Easter. I thought he was quitting for Lent. Oh, okay. So maybe Lent's not over.
Yeah, it's not Easter till next week.
Yeah, it's not Easter. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, he's got another week. All right. Well, he's still not responding to emails anymore. So, who knows? Yeah, his last tweet said he was out till Lent. Oh, you guys are right. So we got about another week. Okay. All right. So we got another week. Well, I hope he comes back. As soon as he comes back, we'll get him back on here. I haven't even seen him on PS4 Network lately, so I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, it says Lent ends on March 24th, so on Thursday. So we'll see.
All right, so then we'll see. He's probably going to come back and have 300 tweets right away.
Yes. On March 25th, Batman vs. Superman comes out.
A good try.
Not if you paid me.
It's got a 39% rating on Rotten Tomatoes right now from the reviews.
I'm all set with that. I could not have less desire to see that. I would pre-order Indiana Jones and the what was that meme you put up earlier? The difficult to navigate stairs.
Yeah.
I would go see that before I would see this. I have no desire to see that at all.
I
did watch Sinister 2 the other night. Massive disappointment. The first one was excellent. This one was terrible.
I've seen that. I think I've seen that.
Of course you have. The 300 movies I've recommended over the last year, you've seen one of, but you managed to find time for Sinister 2.
I hit a horror movie marathon, like all the modern horror movies I've never seen, like The Conjuring and the Three Insidiouses.
I
And
love The Conjuring.
I think The Sinister was one of them that I saw. I don't know
The
why.
first two Insidious movies were fantastic, but I didn't see the third one yet.
It's a disaster.
I do want to. I do want to see it. I really liked the first two. Sinister one I thought was incredibly good horror. Yeah, also Red. But Sinister 2, man, it's just can't go home again. That was just an unnecessary sequel.
Okay, what was Sinister about?
Okay, the first Sinister was off the top of my head Ethan Hawke, and it was about he moved into a house where there had been multiple murders, like a family.
Okay, no,
but
I haven't
he didn't
seen that.
tell his family what had happened there. And the reason he did it is because he was a struggling crime novelist, and so he was trying to research this true crime and find a way to get his writing back on track and get another book worked up. And when he's there, he finds a box of home movies.
Okay. No, I have not seen that one, but I wanted to.
It's good, man. It's really good. It's really good. Ethan Hawke's made some good movies that I really liked that other people really didn't like. He gets a lot of crap for some movies that I think are pretty damn good. I'm trying to think of the name of Daybreakers.
Oh yeah, I like Daybreakers. I thought it was a great movie.
I really like Daybreakers. I thought that was fantastic.
Oh, and the Green Goblin is in it.
Yeah, the Green. Yeah, that's right. He is. Yeah. Oh, you said horrible. Well, we'll just have to agree to disagree on that, Red. I really enjoyed Sinister 1. Sinister 2 did not. I do want to see. I'm dying to see. I'm glad you reminded me. Insidious 3, because those first two were so good.
Yeah, Daybreakers is just. It's a great movie.
If ghosts were real, no one could live anywhere near Chicago or Detroit. Hey, that's not true. Chicago was a peaceful city until Trump got there. He's the one that fucked up Chicago.
Yeah.
It wasn't the murder capital of the country until Trump got there. Insidious was. I'm trying to. Oh, James Wan, right? I think he's the one that did that.
Oh yeah. You know, actually, this is the funny thing. You remember the Goonies?
Yeah.
They're talking about in the Goonies his family having to move to Detroit.
Right.
In retrospect, finding out how many people have actually moved to Detroit over the last 50 years, that's the most unrealistic thing about that entire movie.
It really is. It really is. Insidious is a work of genius. Yeah, first and second, because James Wan was involved in the first and second. He was not involved in the third one, other than I think he had a producer's credit, which pisses me off because a lot of times they do stuff like that. Like James Wan is a horror master of our time. I mean, he did Dead Silence, which no one saw and is widely panned by critics, but I thought it was very, very good. I think that was one of his earlier offerings, and then he comes back and hits up Insidious, which was brilliant, and Insidious 2, which was very, very good. And then he just gets a producer credit on Insidious 3, but because they flash his name on the screen, if you're not paying attention, you think it's another James Wan film, right? But I mean, I just hate when they do that because nobody fucking cares who produced it. Just because he produced it doesn't mean he didn't direct it, he didn't write it. It has nothing to do with the quality of the film. But they put it up there.
Did he get just a producer credit, or did he get like executive producer or assistant producer?
I'm going to look right now, but I believe it was just producer credit.
Okay.
I think he got the writing credit too because they were based on his characters.
So let's talk about producer credits. Producer credits mean precisely dick. If someone is credited as just a producer, in Hollywood, that means somebody whose name we had to put on this movie for whatever reason, they didn't actually do anything related to making the movie. They had nothing to do with this movie. It's the nothing credit that they give to schmoes so they can go to their family and say, look, I'm a producer.
I think it usually has something to do with funding, doesn't it?
No, like an actual producer who is actually getting funding for the movie will get credited as something else. An assistant producer is actually more important than anybody who gets producer credit. An executive producer, anybody who actually is involved in production and getting money for the movie will get credited as something else, not producer.
I can't even find directors, writers, stars. All right, full cast and crew. Maybe that's where I'll find it. Looking on IMDb to see where the producer credits are. I'm not seeing them. I know they splashed his name across. Okay, produced by. I just see him as a regular producer. I don't see him anywhere else.
Yeah, that means he didn't have anything to do with this movie. We're just giving him credit because he created the characters and situations and stuff.
We're just giving him credit so we can put his name on the poster and try to trick you into thinking that he had something to do with this movie.
That too.
That's I mean, come on. What else is it, right? I mean,
like
that's
if
basically why they do it.
If a Hollywood director wants to shoot in a mansion and they can't get the guy to rent them the mansion, they'll say to him, "Hey, we'll give you producer. We'll make you a producer." That's what they'll say. We'll make you a producer. All that means is he gets producer credit in the movie, but didn't have anything to do with actually making the movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now, speaking of that, has anyone seen that Eli Roth movie yet? Because I just saw
Green Inferno.
my sister's ex-boyfriend worked on Dead Silence. Oh no shit! That's an excellent movie. It's one of James Wan's earlier ones. If you have not seen Dead Silence, you need to go see need to look it up. And I think it's on Netflix.
Do you mean
It's
Green
terrific.
Inferno as far as the Eli Roth movie?
Yes, I wanted to know how that was because I want to see it. And I know it's an SJW sort of parable that he tells in that one, so I'm very curious.
Eli Roth style movies just aren't my bag.
Right, I think we talked about that before, so you're probably not going to see that one. Even with the SJW angle, you're not going to bother with it, huh?
No.
I will see that movie. Damn, how about you, Ralph? You didn't see it yet?
Which movie?
Green Inferno?
No, I haven't. I'll probably check that out though.
I
want to see Deadpool. I just saw a rip of that came out too, so maybe I'll watch that.
I want to see Deadpool, and I want to see.
What
you know what's funny, Warpig, is
what
that
is that, a
yesterday-
Russian cam show?
No,
Yeah.
it's hard coded. It's got like Taiwanese subs or some shit like that. But the overall quality of it is pretty good. It's pretty solid. So I might go ahead and watch it. I usually wait till one without the hard coded subs, to be honest. But I might just get over it this time.
I just watched all of Bubblegum Crisis, and it had subs and they had the English dubbing. So I watched it with both active, so I could see how bad the dubbing was.
I've done that with kung fu movies. Yeah.
It was actually really good. They did a really good job based on what the subs were telling me the Japanese people wanted to say and what the dub people were actually saying. They did a really good job. So.
Green Inferno was a Cannibal Holocaust meets the Rainforest episode of South Park, the Let's Get Gay with Kids episode.
Okay, I have
Awesome.
seen Cannibal Holocaust. I hate to admit that, but I have seen Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, Jesus. You saw that? You won't see that?
That was a long time ago. That was 5 or 6 years ago. That was an earlier phase in my life.
You know what happened the other night? Okay, I'm going through movies on demand on DirecTV, and I saw, because I know a lot of hardcore film fans who swear to me that the worst movie ever made was I Know Who Killed Me with Lindsay Lohan. And so I just have to see it, to see how bad it is. And
I'm
I
pretty
saw it
sure
on
there's
there.
a worse movie.
There probably is, but I know a lot of people who swear it's the absolute
In
worst.
fact, I am absolutely, utterly certain there's a worse Lindsay Lohan movie. She was in a movie where she played a porn actress and starred, I think, with James Dean, the other porn actor.
Oh my god! Oh really? Is that the same? It's not the same movie, is it? I wonder what that.
No. It's not the same movie. She made it in a hotel and she was high all the time and it was an absolute disaster. Made no money.
It's the whole movie then, basically.
Yeah, it would just. But yeah, so I would say not only is I am sure that I Know Who Killed Me is a terrible movie, but it's not the worst movie ever. Let alone, it's not even the worst Lindsay Lohan movie ever. Sad to say.
Hey, she's got one in post-production right now. Are you ready for this? A private investigator must unravel the murder of her uncle while keeping the secret that she is the descendant of a line of werewolves.
Oh dear.
Oh dear is right. It's gonna be something. There's 2 people just credited as Wolf, and they're in the top 3 credits. Oh, I can't wait. See, she's a treasure trove. But I do want to see it. I want
She
to know how
used to
bad
have
it is.
talent.
Oh yeah, early on she did. Definitely, she had a presence to her. She had the Room. Is that the Room is so bad it's good. Don't watch The Forest. Oh yeah, I heard that one was bad. I did want to see it. I love good horror movies. They're so hard to find. There's so many bad ones. You really got to wade through so many shit ones. But I watch everything that comes down the pike on Netflix because I'm just trying to find that good one.
I used to have a thing for watching really bad horror movies.
For watching what?
Really bad horror movies. I just like to watch bad
Oh, I
horror
did too.
movies.
I've seen a bunch of them. I mean, the original I Spit on Your Grave was pretty B-rate, and I liked it. Netflix did have a decent series that was horror-ish recently that had something to do with. I only saw the first season of it, and now I'm blanking on what it was.
Was that the werewolf one?
Yeah, sort of. I think it was sort of but it was weird because there was like a laboratory. I think what's her name, Famke Janssen? Am I saying that right? Is that her name?
Yes.
Yeah, she was in it.
She was the wife in Taken. She played Phoenix.
Yeah, right, that's right. And she was in that.
Jean Grey. Sorry.
Jean Grey. How dare you? What the hell was the name of that? That's gonna drive me insane. All right, there she is. I gotta find her. The first season I saw was decent. I don't know if the rest of it was any good. I think there was like 2. Hemlock Grove.
Yeah. I think Ruckus has seen the whole thing. Either that or the professor did, because one of the 2 of them tweeted about it.
Did they really? Okay, well, Ruckus, you're listening, so if that was worth finishing, let me know, because I did see the season 1, and it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. It was kind of interesting, but it was getting a little bit crazy at the end, so I don't know.
I quit after the first episode. I just couldn't watch it anymore.
You didn't like it, huh? You're a little more critical than me. I mean, I think you
I'm picky.
You're picky. That's what I mean. Had to be the prof, Ruckus says. Oh, maybe it was the prof. He does tend to. Yeah, I don't know if I trust the prof. He liked that other vampire show on HBO though. The hell was the name of that? That
True Blood?
Yeah. He liked that teenage girl show. I'm not watching that.
The first 3 seasons are okay, but it goes downhill pretty quick.
Oh no, Ralph. Yeah, Ralph, I'm getting a little worried about you.
Oh wait, now
First,
you're talking
take
about the
care of
Vampire
yourself.
Diaries.
Then you tell me you had a French press and you're listening to True Blood.
Watching True
Something
Blood.
going on?
Nah.
You-
Nah, I quit watching it after that because it got stupid. But actually, my ex-girlfriend got me into watching this, so I can just blame it on her.
Yeah, I watched
Yeah,
something absolutely appalling the other day.
What was that?
The first episode of Fuller
Democratic
House.
National Debate? Was it
No,
the Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders debate? Because that was appalling.
I watched the first episode of Fuller House.
Oh man, I heard that was bad, and I don't even want to know because it's nostalgic, and I just trash it.
I'm the oldest brother of a lot of kids, and so I had to babysit my brothers and sisters all the time, and so that means I got to watch whatever the heck they wanted to watch, so they wouldn't, so they'd shut up.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Which meant I had to watch a lot of Full House in high school.
Oh God.
So I watched Fuller House just to see how it held up, and it's like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't think I want to see it.
They get
I'll
rid of
just-
the 3 guys in the first episode.
If I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll go watch Saved by the Bell again. I'll take another tour through that.
I never saw Saved by the Bell, but I saw the original show it was based on. It's something Miss Bliss. It was a Haley Mills show on the Disney Channel
I never heard of that.
that they retooled into Saved by the Bell. Same actor, same everything, only they got rid of Haley Mills.
Huh. I never even heard of that.
And I saw a couple episodes of that. That's the only Saved by the Bell I saw. Although I did see the Saved by the Bell parody, the reunion show that they did a couple years ago on some comedy show. That's hilarious.
I'll have to look it up. I don't know that I've ever seen it. Maybe it's on Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus is a lot older show. You know, that's one of the things that I like, and then one of the reasons why I stupidly have all 3 streaming services is because they're some of them are so strong in areas that the others are so weak in, and Hulu is very strong in the older shows, the stuff that you can go back and find, like, you know, shows from the 60s and the 50s, and I mean, I think Adam 12 is on there, and that's before my time. I think that's like the early 70s or something. They have a lot of older shows, so.
So you have Netflix, Hulu, and what else?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Oh, okay.
Which I just finally saw the final season of Justified, because I was waiting for them to add it. So now that might have been the death knell for Amazon Prime, because of the 3 services, I think that's the worst one.
Justified was so good.
It was fantastic.
Oh, man.
It was fantastic. The last episode was great.
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked for a better send-off than that. I just love that show. I mean, the thing is, it wasn't even stale. They could have done 2 more seasons of it, I think. Where's Ralph? Is he dead? What happened to Ralph?
Nah, I'm here, man. I'm just editing this article. I'm about to have to go post some shit. I've been slacking all day long.
Have you seen
Justified? Show. No, I haven't seen it, man, but I've heard it's awesome. So.
Oh, dude, you got to look it up. I'm telling you, man. My favorite scene, War Pig, and this is not a spoiler, so don't freak out anybody who hasn't seen it, but and you know, Timothy Olyphant has an incredible snarl to him. He's got a definite Eastwood sort of snarl when he wants to. And so he's like interrogating this suspect that's very hated, you know, on the show. Everybody's very easily disliked, and at the end, before Oliphant walks out the door, he takes one single bullet out of his holster and throws it at the guy. The guy catches it, and Oliphant goes, "Next one's coming faster," and just walks out the door. I loved it, man. He can play a badass pretty damn well. I hope he does that in the movies. I hope he picks up a movie somewhere, and he's at that age where he's either going to have to do a Bruce Willis-style thing pretty quick, or he's going to end up in some shitty rom-coms.
Yeah, I'm going to try to catch it, man. I heard it's good. So.
Oh, it's pretty fantastic. But anyway, that's my take on those 3 services. I definitely think the only reason I ever kept... Oh, he's in Snowden. The only reason I ever kept all 3 was for A, Justified, B, I wanted to rewatch NYPD Blue, and Prime was the only one that had it, and I also really wanted to rewatch The Wire, and Prime had that. So that is the end of what I really wanted to see on Amazon Prime. Other than that, they pretty much mirror Netflix exactly. And they have a few shows from HBO, but what they do is they put like 2 seasons of The Sopranos or something on there for free, and then after the 3rd one, it's no longer included with Prime, so you'd have to pay to watch the rest of it. So that stuff I just don't. I don't think it's that strong a service.
What happened with somebody told me there was a sci-fi thing or something about Woo? Is that right? Did that really happen?
Yeah, that really happened. The internet ruined my life or whatever. Yeah, I got an article about it. So.
What happened?
They did an episode of her of The Internet Ruined My Life. It's just her whining about Gamergate and a bunch of other shit.
What channel is that on?
It's on Sci-Fi. You can watch it online. So.
They put Woo on Sci-Fi? Well, that's about right.
Well, I'm just shocked she wasn't one of the moms of the week. That's.
Oh man, I wish you could hear this show. This is probably why Professor got chased off. The Division sucks. What kind of hospital doesn't have med kits in it? Okay, Kristen came in late. The whole Internet Ruined My Life series is about Gamergate. I never saw it. I don't really probably want to, but what is it? Just a reality show?
Yeah, and well, it's like somebody telling their story, and then they have like a dramatization in the background.
Oh yeah, and you know how realistic the dramatization is because they picked a hot chick to play Woo. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
The hot chick to play Woo?
Yeah, you're wrong on at least 2 different points there.
Oh God. They didn't pick Steven Tyler? You didn't do it?
Or Nick Cage or
I'm gonna start an internet petition now. A super edited drama document. Like Life in the ER, one of those things that used to be on Discover. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. All right. I don't know, man. I think that's about all I got this week. We started early, man, so we're pushing an hour and 45 minutes, I think. Ralph, by the way, before I let you go, just because the two of us are in the same boat here, and I know Warpig isn't, but big high five for the Arizona win last night. I don't think it hurts us at all that Bush came out and endorsed Cruz this morning. So
the Trump train keeps rolling, man. I've read a couple analyses. Excuse me. It looks like he's got a good chance to get there, especially if Kasich stays in the race. So
Kasich, they announced that he's dropping out today.
I haven't heard that. I know that they've been. Yeah, I don't think he's getting out.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I thought he said he was going to try and.
He said he was staying in, as far as I know.
Let me scroll back and see if I can.
Well, there's two different schools of thought. Some people think he should stay in to deny Trump, and then there's a lot of people that think he should get out. So.
Yeah, there's an article on the Wall Street Journal.
I said last week that
the Wall Street Journal
was in to try to derail Trump, but the problem with this, I mean, that was a good strategy initially, but the problem with it is now that they have some winner-take-all states coming up where Kasich siphoning off his usual 8% or 16% even isn't really going to do what it, it's not going to have the impact it did in some of those other states. So
according to the Wall, oh jeez, never mind. I got.
You got got. I got yesterday by that stupid Salon.com parody account. But the thing is that Salon's so fucking retarded that I can't tell the parody account from the real account, so I retweeted it.
It was tweeted out by Andrew Clavin, said that Kasich was dropping out. It's a Wall Street Journal article that, in point of fact, says Kasich plans to drop out of GOP presidential race. It's from July 13th, 1999. So, Andrew Clavin got me hard.
Would anyone even notice? That guy is such a sleeping pill. He just puts me. I can't even watch. He came on Fox last week, and it wasn't a debate or anything, and he's just a man. He is a lights out, boring candidate. He's just brutal. He's just brutal.
The thing is, he can't even actually, if he hasn't won at least 8 states, he can't even get on the ballot to be president.
Right. He can't win a brokered convention without 8 wins. I mean, that's a rule that is it's one of those rules they could change before the convention if they decided they were going to go that route, but I don't see him doing it because I don't think anybody wants Kasich running. It doesn't seem very likely that he's going to win either a brokered convention, and he's certainly not going to win in the delegate count. So I mean, if he's just trying to prevent Trump from getting to the 1,237, his work there, his job there is done. He's done all he can do in that regard. It's just time for him to go away. But at this point, he might just be hurting Cruz more than anything.
Yeah, I think he should drop out. I don't care who you support. Kasich should leave because he has no chance. He is useless.
I mean, Cruz doesn't have a chance to get the 1237 either, but he could win in a broker convention. Like he does have a mathematical chance, but he's got to win like 82% of the remaining delegates or something. That's not going to happen. Right.
Their only hope is to prevent Trump from getting there, but there is still a very strong chance Trump could get there.
Oh yeah, there is.
There's a lot of ways. There's a definite path to him getting that.
It's probably about 50-50 on getting there and not getting there, depending, how it breaks.
So. Well, what's unfortunate is that there's a layoff in the primaries now with the GOP. I don't think there's any. I mean, there might be one in the next 2 weeks, but it's
Wisconsin. I think is the big one coming up next.
Yeah, I think it's Wisconsin. But the thing is that you would hope if you had been down to 2 candidates, or even if you had gone down to 1 at this point. Where you could have just started unloading on the opposition. The thing with the infighting, if it lasts too long, you know what I mean. It's like Hillary can start running the general election campaign right away, because there's no shot Bernie Sanders comes anywhere close to her. So she can just ignore him, and now it's just her. But if Trump and Cruz continue to bicker and hammer each other for another 2 months, when they could have been concentrating on the Democratic candidate, which is quite obviously going to be Hillary Clinton, and you know they could have had an advantage there, but
Yeah.
unfortunately that's not going to be the case. But anyway, I guess it'd be interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. I don't know if it's going to come down to if it comes down to a brokered convention. I'll be fascinated to watch it. I mean, I'll definitely be pulling for Trump. It's going to be fascinating. It's not something you see every day. If there if there was an attack on U.S. soil, Trump's victory would be cemented. Yeah, sad, but that's probably true. It wouldn't surprise me. We have hundreds of attacks on U.S. soil. It's called progressives. Yeah. I'll give you that. You know what? The Governor Jerry Brown, Governor Moonbeam there in California, said if Trump wins, he will build a wall around California. To which I said, because of his tax policies, they lose more citizens every year than any other state, and it's not even close. So if he wanted to build a wall, it would probably do more to keep people in than keep them out. All right,
it's
guys.
really
well,
nice there, but the taxes, man, it keeps people going.
Oh, I'm sure it's paradise. I mean, I would love to. I've never seen it, but I would love to see it. I'd love to see San Francisco. I hear it's beautiful, but I feel like Cartman on South Park. I'd have to get in some kind of hippie-proof suit and not breathe the air.
I went when I was 11. It was pretty fucking cool. So, but yeah, living there, I don't know. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on this week. I appreciate you. I'll try to get back in here next week too. So.
Yeah. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you next week. Artist formerly known as Warpig.
Sure. All right, guys.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace out.
Later.